New results from our exclusive WRAL News poll. It shows the plurality of North Carolinians don't want to see Roe versus Wade overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court. You see 30% agree, 45% disagree, 25% aren't sure. The majority said they don't favor adding new restrictions on abortion or outlawing it. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie breaks down the results.
Our WRAL News poll surveyed 1,100 North Carolinians last week. Only 30% favor overturning Roe versus Wade compared to 45% who think it should remain law. 25% weren't sure. Men were more likely than women to want the ruling overturned at 34% to 27% of women. Women were more likely to say it should stand at 49% to 41% of men. A majority of people said they do not support additional restrictions on abortion. 55% said they favor keeping the laws as they are or having fewer restrictions, versus 34% who favor more restrictions or outlawing abortion entirely. The partisan divide on this question is stark. 57% of Republicans favor additional restrictions or bans, compared to just 15% of Democrats and 27% of independents. TANYA Nelson is an anti-abortion advocate. She doesn't mind being in the minority favoring an outright ban.
Tiny, developing children in the womb are worth protecting. They just are. So, I could be 1 out of 100 who say life begins at conception. That wouldn't bother me for a second.
However, when we asked about restricting abortion after 6 weeks, a plurality, 45%, said they would support that, versus 39% who said no. Men were more likely to favor 6-week bans than women. 66% of Republicans would support restrictions after 6 weeks, compared to 31% of Democrats and 38% of independents.
But that 6-week number is really restrictive.
Dr. Jonas is an OBGYN at Duke. He says because North Carolina schools don't teach comprehensive sex education, many people may not realize that at 6 weeks, an embryo is a cluster of cells about the size of a pea.
It doesn't surprise me that men have less knowledge than women about how pregnancy physiology works or what happens at particular times in pregnancy. We know that 6 weeks is often before people even realize that they're pregnant.
Our poll found wider support for restricting abortion after 20 weeks, which is the law currently on the state's books. 57% say they support that, with 31% opposed. That didn't surprise Meredith professor David MCLENNAN.
A majority of Americans are supportive for the access to abortion during the first trimester, but it falls off tremendously when you ask the question, what about the second trimester? And then it's almost non-existent for the third trimester.
Laura Leslie, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Whatever the high court rules on this issue, North Carolina laws on abortion aren't likely to change anytime soon. Leaders in the Republican-controlled legislature say they do not plan to consider this issue until next year.